Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a replay between Krass versus LZ here on Antigua Shipyard. I'm just going to call them Terran versus Zerg for now. I probably will slip up. But anyways, Terran players spawning here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, LZ spawning here as the purple Zerg. So Zerg versus Terran on Antigua Shipyard. This is going to be, I believe, is it forced cross spawns? I do believe so, since the mineral patches are blue instead of gold. I think anytime that there are blue mineral patches, it is pretty much forced cross spawns, as we see where this overlord will be traveling. Now, quick thing to note, this is not reflective of the new patch. Movement speed on this overlord is 0.47 instead of 0.54. No 20% movement buff on those overlords just quite yet. Now, Terran versus Zerg, a strategy and a map up that has been pretty predictable as of late. And most of the times, Terran players have recently been either going for a 1-Rax expand, or perhaps going into 1-Rax Reactor Hellion expand. Sometimes you do see a little bit of a variation after that, but pretty much both players are trying to get that very strong economic game going. You can take a look at LZ. LZ is currently going to set up that 15th drone. This drone will most likely just head down the ramp, grow up, and be a hatchery down here. As this game does get underway, there we go. There is that drone, and a drone growing up to be a hatchery. Now, back on the front door, we are going to see that our Terran player has decided to utilize his additional resources in order to do a complete wall-off. Now, although it does prevent proper scouting information if a drone was sent over, sometimes all you really need to see is that front door. If you can see the number of buildings that are there, and you can basically figure out what he is trying to go for. One of those things that comes with experience, as another overlord is making a move out across the map. Now, Krass is going to most likely just train up some Marines, get them into here, and then perhaps try to place a bunker on the ramp, or place a bunker over here by his command center. One Marine just going to be sitting down over here now. It looks like an SCV is already in position to set up this one command center here, and this all off of no scouting information. This is rather unusual that both of the players are scouting out each other very late. If you take a look at the map right now, you can see that Krass is just getting wind of the expansion. If there was any sort of Baneling bus coming in, we may see Krass perhaps force himself to cancel that command center and get in a lot of bunkers. But we'll see how that's all going to work out, as Zerglings are just now being trained. 2 Zerglings and 2 Queens now being trained up here. LZ's strategy right now, economics. Get up as many drones as you possibly can, and allow that Zerg production to really carry you into the mid game. I don't believe that LZ will be teching the tier 2 anytime soon. He is harvesting gas, but I believe that will be for metabolic boost more than anything else, as Zerglings are very effective as long as they are able to reach their targets, which that metabolic boost does provide. Now, a curious position for a bunker here, as it's actually like closer or behind the command center, so those Zerglings may actually be able to attack it. We are going to be going into 1-Rax expand into Reactor Hellion, so a little bit of a variation, not too much. 1-Rax expand into Reactor Hellion play to try to control the creep tumors and control the creep. One thing to note, the Talons on the Queen is of range 3, not of range 5. So if you wonder how strong that is, the Marines have equal range to a Queen on the ground. Also, the Queen has the same DPS as a Roach, so that is always very effective if LZ is able to perhaps defend. Not sure where this Queen is going. Oh, just sitting outside of creep just a little bit, waiting for those Hellions, as the Hellions are now being trained, and we are now teching into Cloaked Banshee play. So this was a 1-Rax expand into double gas into Hellion Banshee, and Krass really wants to perhaps slow down the economy. Zerg players, however, just getting Queens shut down both Banshee harassment and also Hellion harassment, or they will, at least in the future, once the additional range is updated across multiple replays. Overlord quickly doing a suicide run in. Is LZ going to spot that starport? Yes, it is going to spot the starport, but is he going to spot a tech lab is the question. He doesn't know what the add-on is right here. So, but he only spotted one barracks. We can see that a new hatchery is being placed down, and I don't believe LZ thinks that it is going to be cloaked banshees. He does not have an evolution chamber as of yet. He is not teching the tier 2, and that is going to be a huge issue if Krass is able to just fly in with a lot of these banshees. One banshee now being trained, a second one should be coming in momentarily, still only running off of one gas, so Krass will have about 100 gas left over every minute. We'll see what he tries to spend that on, as he is now researching stim pack and going into additional barracks. Hellions now made their way out, only to find a whole bunch of roaches. Roaches able to push those units back. Roaches very effective at dealing with Hellions, since Roaches have a decent movement speed and also can attack much faster than a Hellion. It doesn't take them nearly as long. One Banshee now flying across the center portion. How much damage is it going to do? You can see that there's already 67 energy on that Banshee. The Banshee now looking to come in. There should be a Queen here. Yes, we are taking the tier 2, and the cloaking field does need another 10 seconds. One drone does go down. We are going into a Spore Crawler back here, so one Spore Crawler is already being added. How much damage can this Banshee really hope to do as it's trying to fly and float in between all of these locations? The Queen and now getting in some damage, but the Banshee just gets out of sight range there. Beautifully played, as the Banshee is now going after more units. The Spore Crawler is going to be able to root itself, and that one Spore Crawler down and rooted, but unable to spot that Banshee. The Banshee did get 9 kills and is currently sitting at 5 hit points. A new Banshee now coming in over here into the third. Very natural response, as the drones may all get torched. One drone there. Oh, they are all lining up. That is not good. A lot of damage being dealt. More and more units are getting destroyed here. You can see that multiple drones are getting taken down. And Krass very effective with this harassment so far, as you can now see one Banshee flying along the backside, and it may be able to get more damage onto these drones still. No, it's gonna be going after these units here. Another drone getting taken down. So we are now up to, I believe, 20 some odd drone kills, and it doesn't look like it's going to be falling anytime soon. Krass doing a great job just transferring the Banshee from one side of the base to another to minimize the amount of damage here. The Queen are now taking a lot of damage, and that Queen has a lot of energy. It looks like it is going to get taken down, and this Banshee with 8 drone kills, it needs to back away. It does realize that it can't stick around very much longer, but really well done, as LZ now behind in supply, 94 to 116, 66 drones versus 59 SCVs. Now, did we have... Yes, it looks like we do have some repaired Banshees. Krass is going to follow this up, and this is an absolutely huge attack force. The Banshees are going to be able to clean up a lot of those roaches, so the roaches, even if they try to chase their units, are not going to be that effective. They do not have the Glio reconstitution, and those Banshees that fly faster than those roaches can move when off of creep, should be able to just snipe down many more. An Overseer now looking to do a flyby into the main. We are going to have the Zerglings, and the Banshees could just focus down that Baneling very easily. The Banshees are now going after all the Banelings here. Baneling cocoons all getting destroyed, and how much damage is going to be dealt? Baneling after Baneling needs to get taken down. The Banelings are going to actually find all of those Marauders, but the Queens are now getting taken down as well. There's a quick cloak, another Queen taken down there, and I believe Krass is going to take this game. No Roaches are going to be able to fight back the rest of these Marauders, but the Banshees still dealing a lot of damage. And so far, I'm not quite sure who has the overall economic advantage. It is 3 bases to 2, but now one Mutalisk may be able to turn the tides completely. 3 Mutalisks. The Banshees are trying to split up. You can see a very nice movement there. Krass making sure to split up those Banshees, and by splitting up those Banshees, we'll be able to save at least one of them, as the Overseer does not have the movement speed upgrade, unable to catch up to that Banshee there. Zerg players should perhaps get that pneumatized Carapace. It is very important, but then all the queens are now being retrained instead. So that's where the most of the hatcheries are going, as Banshees now looking to do perhaps another suicide run, especially with a Spore Crawler already in position. That is not good. Oh, Krass is in trouble. Yes, loses one Banshee there. And getting a little greedy with this Banshee. Could have returned home, gotten in a lot more, or just gotten a lot more mileage out of that Banshee there, while getting even more Marines. Production tab shows 4 Marines being trained at a time. You can see a lot of tech labs being placed down. So unless we start going into a Thor, we are not going to see a straight up counter in terms of production to shut down these Mutalisks. Banshee now in the center portion of the map, taking down Zergling after Zergling. I believe the Mutalisk will be able to finish it off there. Yes, nicely done. As we are going to be seeing this one command center lift off and land here, but most likely a changeling will be placed down. Now we are going into a 4th base by LZ. A lot of Zerg players don't like the center of the map here, as siege tanks are able to control so much of it. Krass is getting some barracks and now training up some more Marines, but not adding on reactors. He does have a lot of minerals floating, so he could definitely be utilizing that. Command center now taking a lot of damage as the Zerglings are going to try to engage. Marines and Marauders trying to engage off over here. The Mutalisk is going to finish us off as the Zerglings try to get us around, but a very nice round. But Banelings now coming in. LZ doing a great job. Cancellation on that command center. That's all that was really needed. And what we really need to see is Krass setting up some reactors. Reactors very, very important to just be able to double the production of the Marines. Marines very effective against those Mutalisks, but not so effective against those Banelings. An SCV and a command center not destroyed, not canceled, just straight up destroyed, as now the Marines are trying to make their way out. A missile turret being established instead. 1-1 upgrades with 2-2 coming in. But it looks like LZ with already at 2-2 upgrades. Oh, a good spread of missile turrets here. Going to cause some problems. LZ not trading efficiently, but will be able to take down multiple missile turrets. As we now see another engagement here. One missile turret is being established. An SCV may get taken down. The siege tanks are in position here. More barracks still being added as we are trying to just crank up the more and more of that Marine production. Zerglings and Marines still battling it out. The Zerglings really extra effective against those Marines since they are out upgraded at this stage in the game. 65 drones, 60 SCVs, and Krass is now up against the ropes. He is getting beat down by LZ, especially as LZ does establish up his 4th base before Krass even establishes his 3rd. Command center now finally lifting off. It will be landing here in just a moment. Missile turret now being established as we see Marines trying to do a drop in the main. That is going to be cleaned up as LZ has very good creep spread, able to spot all of that, and with these very fast moving Mutalisks, able to get anywhere on the map that he wants to in just a matter of seconds. All right, here we go. Mutalisk doing a quick flyby here. Marines and Marauders and siege tanks in the center. Zergling's going to try to do a surround here. The Banelings, are they going to find their targets? That is the question. Oh, the Banelings not splashing efficiently at all. And LZ will be able to clean up those siege tanks, though. The Marines went a little bit too far away from those Banelings, as LZ now retraining up 23 pairs of Zerglings, getting infestors, and also going into a greater spire. Without a siege tank here, this one hatchery is pretty much safe. You really need siege tanks up on the high ground in order to destroy it. Meanwhile, we are going, just one overseer here and a whole bunch of mules now being added. But there is still no reactors on these barracks. So he's not really going to be able to train up and really spend all the necessary minerals, as his economy is now sitting at 1,500 with all of these SCVs currently not mining. Banelings now trying to test the front doors. Zerglings and Marines are now upgraded 2-2, even on upgrades. Siege tank. Oh, the Banelings are crashing. A nice fungal growth. LZ doing some great trades here. And there is the GG. LZ coming back here in order to take game 1 in this series. Terran versus Zerg on Antigua Shipyard. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.